Connie Britton, and after years of being asked about my healthy, shiny hair, I am thrilled to share my beauty secret with you.
What?
It's feminism.
Bitch.
When used regularly, feminism has been known to produce amazing results, such as a woman's right to vote, a woman's right to her own body, a woman's right to become a kick-ass athlete, the Violence Against Women Act, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Restoration Act, and more.
Your 19th Amendment.
Feminism is meant to be used on a daily basis and works best when shared. But what if I don't need feminism? Trust me, girl, you do.
You stupid bitch.
Side effects.
Shut the fuck up. I will fucking laser you with alien fucking eyes and explode your fucking head.
Pretty fucking much. Goddamn. I want to punch you in the fucking mouth really hard with like a dog shit fist. I will put my fist into a pile of dog shit and then punch you right in your teeth. That's how I feel. Roll the fucking intro music. Yeah. Fucking alright, dude. This is how it's gonna be. That shit. No, that is 100% legit. Fuck that. I'm not for feminism. I'm not gonna get onto it really quick, but I did want to mention this. Women, there is a huge group of women that actually think air conditioning, get this, air conditioning is sexist. What the fuck is even going on? They're saying that, well, their defense or the way they justify it is saying that women are more sensitive to heat and cold than men are. So they're their whole thing is basing this off of an office type of setting. Like you go to your 9-to-5 job every day, you go into an office, you sit in your cubicle, and then you go home. They're saying that 95% of women in those jobs are struggling to stay warm because a man controls the AC, and every woman in that office is going to be cold because the temperature is set to that of a man's fucking body. How about they just make it fair for everybody? How about it's not a dude in control going, you know what? I'm gonna turn it down to 65 and make these bitches fucking cold. You know what I mean? Like, really? How about it's just set at one temperature that's fair for everybody? And if you're cold, you know what? Put a fucking sweater on, bitch. Go grab your little cardigan from your car or fucking, you know, your University of Orlando sweater, you know, that you got back in 2008. Fucking, how about that? So, I just can't believe that's real. Saying that air conditioning is sexist. That's a real fucking argument that was on the fucking news. Jesus Christ. I didn't know this type of shit existed. Anyway. Yo, some shit I've been seeing in like the media on Instagram, Facebook, and even on a couple news sites like the Huffington Post. People are fucking hating on Kat Von D. Why the fuck are people hating on Kat Von D? She got a blackout tattoo, right? So if you don't know Kat Von D, very heavily tattooed tattoo artist. She had her own TV show, whatever. And she got a blackout tattoo, which a blackout tattoo is just an all solid black tattoo. And she got it on her forearm to cover up some previous work. Cool, whatever. So, she posted a video on Instagram showing that, and so many people fucking hate. So many people hated on her, like, I can't believe you do that to your skin. You're so pretty. Why would you do that? You're a fucking idiot. In my opinion, I feel like someone who has tattoos, especially a lot, those tattoos are for that person. You know what I mean? They're not getting a tattoo for you to look at and you to be like, oh yeah, that's what I like. I like that. Fuck you. The tattoos that I have are for me. And if you come up to me and say, oh, you're stupid for having that tattooed on you, I'll probably kick you in the balls really hard because it's none of your business what I have tattooed on me. You know what I mean? It's for me and nobody else. Straight up. That's just how I feel. Kat Von D, I support the fucking shit out of her and her Blackout ink. So, yeah. I feel like we have way more things that we could be focusing on instead of just hating on someone for their tattoos. Anyway, so I was reading this thing, another article, also give credit to the Huffington Post. So there was an Australian man. He's a 48-year-old Australian man. And back in the day, when he was younger, he was in his early 20s, he was about to go to prison, right? So he went to court for something, and he knew he was going to have to serve a little bit of a prison sentence. So as a parting gift, his girlfriend gave him a little bit of weed to take to jail with him, or to take to prison with him. So he put that in a little balloon. I don't know how much. They didn't say the amount. I'm assuming it probably wasn't more than a gram, because he put it in a balloon, a little rubber balloon, and snorted it up his fucking nose. And he snorted it so far back that he thought he swallowed it, and he forgot about it for 18 fucking years. He forgot he did that for 18 fucking years. He's been having like serious sinus infections, horrible headaches and migraines. So one day, one of his friends turned him on to a doctor, and he goes into the doctor and he gets a CAT scan or an MRI or something. And the doctors put a little thing up his nose and see there's a calcified obstruction in his nose. And calcified means that it was there so long that like bone and tissue started to grow over the balloon. So, goddamn, just imagine a doctor like, what the fuck? And the doctors described it as a rubber ball filled with degenerate vegetable plant matter. Marijuana. He said he's breathing a hell of a lot better, and his headaches have gone away completely. So I just can't believe that this dude has been walking around for the past 18 years with a balloon stuck in his nasal cavity, like somewhere back towards behind his eyes, I'm assuming is where your nasal cavity starts to get a little bigger and intersects with your skull or what the fuck ever. I'm not a doctor. But it was way the fuck back there. Imagine. I can't even imagine how that would feel. How did you not fucking feel that shit in your face for 18 years? I don't know. And when you got to prison, did you not like dig through your shit for like the first couple weeks, waiting for that weed to come out? Because I've talked to and heard about a lot of people ingesting drugs before they get locked up. And then, the following week or whatever, they got to dig through their shit by hand, to try to find the drugs that they swallowed. But he just done forgot about it. So he must have really not cared. So that's a real thing that really happened. I can't believe that. So anyway, where we left off last time, I talked about tricking a bunch of my air quotations around this word friends into smoking dope methamphetamines. One of the girls went back to school, got really fucking tripped out. She freaked out, and she ended up doing some time. I don't know. I never talked to her after that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to pick up where that left off. So there was a time me and my mom woke up really early one morning in the house, and we were struggling at this point because a couple people had gotten busted. A few raids had happened, and it's funny because our house ended up getting raided like a week after what I'm talking about. But anyway, or no, it was about a month after. Anyway, people got raided. So the town and the surrounding towns, everything was a little dry. And what I mean by dry is that it was pretty difficult to find the drugs that you were looking for. You had to really know the right person. So me and my mom did. We knew the right person, but we weren't going to put any money into that shit. So we got up really early one morning and we went... we cruised all the way out. It was like an hour and a half drive, just into like the mountains, into the woods. It was way the fuck out there. And fun fact, in a previous episode, I talk about ditching. Well, in the same one, I talk about ditching my mom's boyfriend, and the same place that we took the Cutlass and exchanged it for the truck is the same place we're going in this story. So we're heading towards that trailer, and we're in the truck in which we traded for the Cutlass. So we're mobbing. We stop at a gas station. We get some alcohol, and we get pretty fucked up. We start, drinking on our way there, and we make a quick little pit stop. I don't know whose house it was or what, but we make a little pit stop. My mom said she needed to talk to somebody. And I was nervous because my mom is fucking crazy when she's drunk. Like a spider monkey up in your shit crazy. So I was nervous. I was like, let's just please get back on the road. I just want to go. And we stopped at this place, and I was in the car smoking, just being drunk. And next thing I know, well, my mom went in this house, and next thing I know, I see her like running out of this fucking house. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Maybe she's just in a hurry. And then like 12 feet behind her is some other chick like running after her. And out of nowhere, when my mom's about 5 feet in front of the truck, she turns around and cold clocks this bitch in the face. Bow! Just punches her one good time. Boom! Puts hella weight into it like a super good punch. I was so proud. Laid this bitch flat on her fucking ass. And she just fell back. And she didn't even try. She just sat there and we left. I just had to throw that in there because it's part of the story. And I'll always fucking remember that. It's like imprinted into my brain. So we're drunk and we are driving to this place. We end up kind of getting lost a little bit because we were drunk. We ended up driving around in circles for a little while. But we did eventually end up getting to the trailer. And nobody was there, of course, because we knew nobody was going to be there. And we go to the front door and, we're just doing like some precautionary knocking around the house to make sure nobody really is home. So we're knocking on the front door, trying to open it a little bit. And this dude's got like security really tight. He's got like 5 padlocks on a door. He's got like sticks in the door, like big sticks in the window so you can't open it, and like metal bars and everything. And you could tell he's trying to keep people out. So after about 20 minutes, we walk around to the back of the trailer, and we're at the back door, and my mom's just like fiddling around with different keys on her key ring, seeing if she could kind of pick the lock or whatever. And The back door was not very secure. It was only locked with the handle lock, so it was very easy to get into. My mom took out a gift card or something, slid it in, popped the door right the fuck open, and we were in the house. And we spent probably like, I don't know, an hour just rummaging through a bunch of stuff. Because we knew this guy wasn't going to be back for at least a couple days, or at least a day. So we knew we had time. So we were spending a lot of time really digging deep, going through a lot of this guy's stuff, because this guy was a pretty high roller in weed and dope. And when I say dope, I mean meth. So he was a pretty big roller. So we were trying to find, anything we could, to make the trip worth it. And I'm in this one room, which I'm assuming is an office, because there was only a couple computers in there, a desk, some chairs and shit. And I'm going through like little boxes and stuff, and I pull out little bags of weed, like here and there, like a couple grams here, a gram and a half here, 3 grams there. And then I'm also finding like half burnt bowls. Like he'd pack a bowl in his pipe, take a couple hits, and then knock it out into a bag. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but I found a lot of that shit. And I was pretty excited because I didn't have any weed. And I was like, yo, this is fucking awesome. I'm finding some shit. And after that, I have probably close to like an ounce in just little tiny bags of, 1 gram, 2 gram bags here and there. And I'm stacking them up, and I'm getting really happy. And I walk out to the living room, and I put this stuff on a chair, and I'm like, Mom, look what I found so far. And she comes running out of the kitchen with like her hands, like it looks like she has a handful of something pressed against her chest. And she goes, oh yeah, well look what I found. And she goes, boof, and lets it all go onto the couch. And it was just a giant pile of weed. And I was like, I couldn't even believe it, because, we were still drunk. And when you're drunk, I feel like I'm like kind of disconnected from reality when I'm drunk. So I had a really hard time comprehending what was happening, because it was such an amazing thing. I didn't think it was real. I felt like I was having an out of body experience. It was so crazy. And anyway, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe you just found this much weed. This has to be like, it was like 4 ounces. I was like, no fucking way. So I grab one of the smaller trash bag, one of the like the 10-gallon trash bags. And I start filling it with all the weed. And my mom, while I'm doing this, is running back from the kitchen into the living room with another fucking handful. Boom. And she does this like 20 times, runs back and forth, just dumping fucking ounces of weed at a time on the couch. And I'm just pushing it into a trash bag, wondering, when is this going to stop? How much fucking weed does this guy have? And like I said, she did it about 20 times. She made like 20 of those trips. And I had fucking pounds. I had pounds of weed. I don't even know how much it was, but it was a lot. And I'm going to say it was like 5 pounds. And I had it all condensed down to a trash bag, because it was pretty fluffy weed. So I had to like put it in the trash bag, and I like compressed all the air out of it so it was like airtight, and like, because I wasn't trying to drive back home. We had a long drive. I wasn't trying to drive back home with a fully loaded garbage bag on my lap full of weed. So anyway, so I tie the trash bag up, and my mom goes, now it's your turn to help me. So I go back to the bedroom, and I'm trying to find dope. And I was trying to find a lot, because my mom had found a lot of weed for me. So I was trying to find a lot of dope for her. So I'm back in the bedroom, and I find a couple pickles, and what I mean by pickles is pipes, little dope pipes. And if you don't know what a dope pipe looks like, it's basically just a ball, a glass ball with a hole on the top, and then a tube running down the back. That's literally it. And found a few of those with, a little bit in it. So I set those aside. And I was just about to give up when my mom said something. I don't remember what she said. She said something because she like banged her head or something. And she said something about the bed in the bedroom where she was at. And then that put a thought in my head. I was like, oh, the bed. I was like, there could be shit under the bed. So I flipped the mattress up, and lo and behold, boom, there's a big black shoebox underneath the bed. And I was like, oh, my stomach fucking got butterflies. I pull it out and I put it on top of the bed, and there it is. There's like 3 ounces of dope just in one fucking bag. It was so much dope. And I don't say anything because I was like completely blown the fuck away. And next to the dope, there was a couple pipes, lighters, a few rags to wash away black dust on the bottom and shit. And next to all that was a fucking stack of cash, which I didn't count at the time, but when we did get home, we did count it, and it was like $6,300. So we took all that. Well, I took all that. I put the cash in my pocket, and then I took the dope, and I went into the bedroom where my mom was at, and I was like, I put my hands behind my back, and I was like, pick a hand. And she goes, don't fucking do this to me. And I was like, pick a hand. And she goes, right. She picked my right hand. And that's where the dope was. And I pulled it out and I put it in her hand. Boom. And she was like so excited. She was jumping up and down. She was like punching the air, like jumping up and down, going crazy, just really excited. And the funny part about it is that we ended up staying. After we found everything that we needed, we ended up staying for like another 45 minutes because she was like, all right, well, we're good now. She was like, you hungry? I was like, yeah, actually, I mean, I am a little hungry, because I was drunk. And I was like, yeah, fuck, let's get something to eat. What do you want to go get? And she was like, no, go sit down. And I turned on the TV and I started watching, what was it? Futurama. Futurama was on TV. So I started watching Futurama. And my mom goes in the kitchen and she makes us a couple of turkey sandwiches with potato chips on them. And she comes out to the living room, hands me a paper plate with turkey sandwich on it, and we sit there and eat our sandwiches and watch Futurama for like 30 minutes. And I just think it was so funny because we like thinking about it now, it's crazy. Like the guy's house we robbed, the house we were in and we were robbing, we sat down and made ourselves lunch after we robbed the house. So it was like we robbed the house for goods, and then we also robbed the house for a couple sandwiches. So I thought that's pretty funny looking back on it now. And then me and my mom, we ate our sandwiches and we got out of there. And we get back home and some time has passed. Some time goes on and I have like the most weed I've ever had in my life. I have it just chilling under my bed. Whenever I need some, I go pull out a fat handful, put it in a bag, and then I go on with my day. And that's how I kind of became the man of the party everywhere I went. Like people were, once the word got out that like I was smoking everybody out, like anytime someone would come around or I'd be around somebody, I'd either give them weed or I'd smoke them out and just have, an amazing time. And that's when the word got out and everybody started like inviting me to parties. And everybody would start inviting me to parties and asking me to match, like, you smoke a joint, I smoke a joint, you know what I mean? Like we match each other or whatever. And I remember going to this one party. I was invited to this one party, and I was already drunk before I got invited to this party. And I get to the party. I had to walk there. It was like, 12 blocks from where I was. So it was an adventure to get there alone. And I show up to the party and everybody's like, yo, Zach, what up? What's up? You know what I mean? And at the time I had a Ziploc baggie full of blunts already pre-rolled, ready to smoke. And I was fucked up, like super stupid, dumb drunk, walking through this party just like passing out blunts like fucking Oprah, like, you get a blunt, you get a blunt, you get a blunt, motherfucking bitch over there gets a blunt. And I remember sitting on the couch smoking a blunt with this chick, and this other chick was like, hey, come play beer pong with us in the kitchen. I was like, all right. Get up, go to the kitchen, tables all set up. I watch them do a few shots back and forth. And little did I know that the cups weren't filled with beer. They were filled with Patron, like hard fucking liquor. And they were like a third of the way full, quarter of the way full, third of the way full. It wasn't just a shot. It was like 3 shots in a cup. So someone sank a ball on my side. I drank that. And that was like it. That was like the tipping point. It was like 3 shots all at once. And I was already fucked up. So I take that shot, and the floor, it's linoleum floors, and there's a little bit of like watered liquor or something on the floor, and I slipped. And I throw the cup on the table, and the momentum of my arm just pulled the rest of my body down, and I slammed on top of the fucking table. And it just dumped sideways, liquor fucking everywhere, cups fucking flying everywhere, people screaming, laughing. I land on the fucking floor. Liquor dumps all over me. I'm fucking stumbling to get up. I grab a bottle and take a swig from it. And I'm just a mess. A disastrous fucking mess. So I eventually managed to get myself up. Not alone. Someone had to help me. But I eventually get myself up off the floor. And someone was like, dude, you need to fucking take a walk, bro. They're like, you need some fresh air. And I was like, you're right. And they're like, go get some fresh air, come back and help us clean this shit up. Because it was a huge mess. Like, I didn't knock over just one table. I knocked over another table, like a little side table that had snacks and like soda and shit on it. So there was food and drinks and liquor and fucking tables everywhere. And it was a disaster. So I walk outside on the front porch by myself, light up a cigarette, start smoking. And I was drunk as shit. Started to think to myself, I was like, man, fuck these people. You know what I mean? I was like, they invited me over and this was an accident, so I don't care. So I just leave. But I felt like I was doing something super wrong. So I look at the back door behind me. Like I walk down the stairs all slow. I get to the sidewalk, and I'm still standing there smoking just in case someone walks out. And it's like, Will, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, just standing here. I'm looking over my shoulders, and then I just start running down the fucking sidewalk as fast as I fucking can. And it's so fucking funny. I just start darting and laughing hysterically like a psychopath. Running down the street, laughing like a motherfucker. And yeah, they were super pissed off that I didn't come back. Like, I just left my drunken disaster of a mess in their kitchen and took off. But, hey, you invited me, bro. I didn't ask. So, but anyway, yeah, there was lots of situations to where I was invited to, parties or get-togethers, and I was even invited to a rainbow party once. I I've been to 2 rainbow parties. The first one I got invited to was the best one because everybody was fucked up, and it was like a bunch of people from school that I knew. You know what I mean? So it was like we all knew each other. And if you don't know what a rainbow party is, basically a rainbow party is a gathering. People get together, and it's like a group of dudes and a bunch of girls, right? And it's like a regular party, but there is going to be more girls than guys. It's like a 3-to-1 ratio, right? And the girls are all wearing different colored lipstick. And at the end of the night, the dude with the most shades of lipstick on his dick, hence the name Rainbow Party. So the dude who has more shades of lipstick on his dick at the end of the night is the winner. So that is really fucking cool. I just gotta say. But I also gotta say, I feel like a rainbow party is more of a thing that was like, I don't know, maybe more aimed towards like earlier times, like before the 70s, like 60s maybe, when women actually, like, all women wore lipstick. At this party, I mean, it was like 2007, I think, or something like that. So being like emo and being a scene girl was really cool back then. So like, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of girls wore lipstick, but like it was like dark black lipstick or something like that. Like most girls didn't wear lipstick. So it was really weird to see all these girls with lipstick. But the whole point of the party, it was funny showing up because it was like, yeah, I'm here to get my dick sucked. You know what I mean? Who wants to go first? That was pretty much how I felt. And it was fun. Like, I had a lot of fun the first time I ever went. And I didn't win. I mean, I felt like I got close, but I felt like some people cheated also. Like, I felt like, you know, maybe your homie helped you out. You know what I mean? And just brought like 12 different shades of lipstick and put them on himself. You know, you gay, bro? You gay, bro? I don't know. But, because one dude, I don't know. Anyway, I played fair. I played by the rules. And I felt like a couple of those dudes were sucking each other off for extra points. Just saying. So, but regardless, I had a hella fun time. And, I mean, there's just so many times where I went to parties like that or get-togethers or whatever, and so lots of good times from that house, but lots of bad times also. Like I remember one time I went to go party with my homie Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh. I met him through Magic Mikey. I know these are weird. These are street names that I'm using, but I don't want to use their real name. So Dougie Fresh was the homie. Magic Mikey was the plug who worked at Taco Bell. And I used to buy marijuana from him back in the day at Taco Bell. I used to go in and be able to walk up to the register and order whatever. And at this point, I had already texted Mikey telling him what I need. So when I check out, 9 times out of 10, he would be at the register. So I'd give him the money for the food and the money for the bud. And then when he handed me my bag, the weed would be in a little nacho bag. Like, it was super chill. Like, I could go in, get my tacos and my bud all at once and then go home. It was like the coolest fucking thing. So anyway, Magic Mikey and Kayla, his sister Kayla, introduced me to Dougie Fresh. And I ended up becoming like best friends with Doug. And we were homies. We did everything together. We used to go down to the waterfront and fuck with seals that would be stranded on the rocks. Because when the tide goes out, some seals would be stuck in the big rocks. They'd be stuck between them. And me and Doug would get drunk and we'd go down there and we'd like pick the seals up and like try to bring them back to the water. Like we tried to like be good guys and shit. But, you know, a few times we ended up dropping a seal and like just pissing him off. Like Doug got bit by a seal once in the thigh because we were trying to save it. But anyway, yeah, we were homies, and we would party all the time in his house because his mom was one of those moms that was like kind of like my mom that just, she didn't really care. As long as you weren't doing like, as long as you weren't murdering anybody and you were having a good time, I mean, fuck it. What are you, what's wrong? So, I remember one time we went and partied fucking hard at Doug's house. And, we robo-fried really hard, me and Kayla. And if you don't know what robo-frying is, it's basically overdosing on cough medicine to get high. So I used to robo-fry a lot. And me and Kayla went to the gas station that night. We stole a bunch of alcohol and we stole a bunch of Robitussin. And we stole the Robitussin gel capsules, which I had never robo-fried on before. I always just drank it. So the night goes on, we're drinking like a motherfucker, and me and Kayla go downstairs, and we each have a 30 count bottle of Robitussin gel capsules. And we each take the entire thing. We take all 30 capsules, and then we go on with our night. And I mean, we get fried, like super fried. And I'm going to try to explain this. Robo-frying feels like being ridiculously drunk, but you still have all of your motor skills and all of your balance and everything like that. So it's mostly like a head drunk, if that makes sense. It's a crazy fucking feeling. Like you could be the most drunk in the world, the drunkest person in the world that has ever been, but you could still walk a straight line down the street. It's a weird fucking feeling, and I know it's probably hard to understand if you never have, but that's what robo-frying was. And this night we got fucking fried. I mean, it was retarded, and I don't suggest robo-frying at all or doing fucking any drugs at all. Besides, I mean, if you smoke weed, I don't consider weed a drug. That's just my opinion. But we were fucked up. And I remember walking around town with her that night and just doing dumb shit like breaking into cars. And I remember we went into this one place where kids would hang out after school, kind of like a boys and girls club, but it wasn't boys and girls club. And we broke in there and we like played pool and like plugged in the video games and like played arcade games and shit. And somehow we ended up getting back to Doug's house because I woke up in his mom's bed down in the basement. His mom lived in the basement. Really fucking weird and damp and gross. But I woke up in the basement. I woke up next to Kayla. We were both in the bed, and it wasn't like that. I mean, we just got so fucked up, and we passed out. I woke up. It was like 7:30 in the morning. I was like, shit. I was wearing a doctor's robe, like one of those giant white long robes that doctors wear. And I forgot to mention, the reason for this party was because me and my mom had gotten an eviction notice from the landlord at the house that we had pretty much like taken over. We weren't paying rent or any bills or anything. So, I mean, it was only, a matter of time until we got an eviction notice. So we got that eviction notice, and that's the reason for the party at Doug's house that night. It was like a farewell party because me and my mom had planned to leave America. We were gonna leave and go to Canada. That was our plan. So we party hard at Doug's house, and I remember waking up in the doctor's robe, and it just had a bunch of graffiti and shit all over it, like goodbye and like I'm gonna miss you and shit like that. And I woke up in it and I was like, awesome. Last night was awesome. I got to say all my goodbyes. I'm done. I'm ready to go home because I was super hungover. So I walk like the mile down the road through town back to my house. And mind you, I'm in a doctor's robe, no shirt on underneath. Like, just, I look like a hot fucking mess. And I get to the house and the truck's not there. And I was like, okay, maybe she's, maybe she let someone use the truck, or she's out right now getting something. And I try to walk in the front door and it's locked. And I was like, okay, so I knock on the door, no answer for like 10 minutes. And my bedroom window was right in the front of the house. So I go around to the front and I stand on this little flower bed and I look in my window and nothing is in there. The only thing that's in there is the bed. None of my clothes, because I had my clothes in bags on the floor. None of my clothes was there. My blankets were taken off the bed. My posters were taken down. There was nothing in the house. And I ended up slipping the window open. I took the screen off, slipped the window open, and I got inside. And everything was gone. There was nothing in the house anymore. The only thing were the beds in the rooms, and that was it. Everything else was completely moved out. And I was so fucking confused. I had no idea what was happening. I thought, maybe I had hallucinated the last 3 months of my life and we never even moved in. And for a second, I thought maybe while I was asleep, when I woke up in the morning, I thought maybe I was asleep and I just dreamt the last 3 months. I was like, maybe that's what my life really is. But I was like, no, that's way too crazy to be real. I was like, there's no fucking way. And I didn't know what to do because I had no phone, because this was 2007. Nobody, not everybody had a cell phone. And if they did, it was a flip phone. You know what I mean? I didn't have a phone. And I had no money. No clothes. The clothes I was wearing were shit, and I was wearing a doctor's fucking robe. That wasn't gonna be good enough. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where my little brother was, because my little brother Ashton was living there too, and he was only 6 at the time. I had no fucking idea. I started to freak out. I started to have a little anxiety attack. I started to get really paranoid and stressed out. And I'm not going to lie, I started to cry because I didn't know where to go or what to do. Because, I had warrants out for my arrest and I did not want to go to jail. My dad didn't want me back at home, for obvious reasons. I was a little shithead. And my mom was it. My mom was what I had, you know what I mean? And she was gone. And that fucked me up. Pretty bad, because I stayed on the stairs in front of the house for a couple of hours because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I had nobody to turn to. No money, no prospects, shit. Very bottom, low point. So I walked back to Doug's house and I started explaining to him what happened. And at first they didn't believe me. So it was me, Doug, his baby mama, and a couple other people all walked with me all the way back to the house so I could prove to them what I just told them. And after they saw that I was telling the truth, because they had all been over to my house before, so they knew what should be in the house. And they went there and saw that nothing was there anymore. And we walked back to Doug's house and he was like, look, bro, he was like, you could stay here as long as you want. He was like, you're my best fucking friend in the entire world and I'll do anything for you. He was like, you could live here as long as you want. He's like, I got a couch with your name on it. I know it's not much. And that, no one had ever done anything like that for me before at that point. everybody up to that point was either, trying to get something out of me or, basically just use me for something. And Doug wasn't trying to use me for anything. He was actually helping me and giving me things. And he even helped me out. He gave me, a couple of his shirts, even though he was a lot bigger than I was. He gave me a couple of his shirts that were too small for him. So I had, something to wear until I could get more clothes. And just that generosity was, I didn't expect it, and I didn't know it existed because I'd never experienced that before, so I didn't know it was like that. But I mean, looking back on it now, it was probably easy for him to go ahead and let me stay there because it was kind of like that kind of house. There was like 7 other people living there, just sleeping on the couches also. Like there was couches everywhere. Everybody was just crashing on couches. So, but to me, it was everything. Even though it was really nothing, it was amazing. And that was my life for, the next, I think it was like 4 or 5 months. I never understood what happened to my mom for like 5 fucking months. I had to sit there on Doug's couch and wonder what happened to my mom, what happened to my little brother. But I eventually did find out what happened to my brother because I would walk every single day. I would walk back to the house just to see if, maybe something had changed. Maybe my mom came back. Of course, she never did come back. But I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. I was like, my brother still goes to school. And the school is, 10 blocks or whatever from where I was living at Doug's house. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the school. So I go to the school and I go to the office and I talk to somebody about my little brother. I told them the situation, what's going on and everything. And they felt for me. I didn't think they were going to help me, but they did. They were like, yeah, Ashton is, in blah, blah, blah's class and he gets out at blah, blah, blah time. You can, stay here and wait for him if you want. So I hung out outside, like on the playground, waiting for school to get out. And once it was about time for school to get out, I walked over to where his classroom was going to let out. And I stood there and I waited for him. And he saw me, and it was like this moment, like we hadn't seen each other in 20 years. It was crazy because we were so close. Me and Ashton were put through a lot together. So that fucking reunion with him was insanely ecstasy. It was crazy. It was the best feeling ever. And that was my routine for a while. I would walk to the school, pick up Ashton after school, and I'd walk him home. And come to find out, my mom had gave him to the next door neighbor, who was also his babysitter. So the day my mom left, she brought Ashton over to the babysitter's house and was like, I don't know exactly what she told her, but she was like, I got to do, something. Will you watch him for a while? And she just never came back. So I felt like it was my responsibility to pick up Ashton from school every day, take him home, hang out with him for a while until, it was around his bedtime. And then I'd go back to Doug's house and just be depressed as fuck because that was my life. I was a bummy ass 14-year-old kid trying to be a father to, his 7-year-old brother. And it was a crazy situation. And I'm not trying to get emotional about it because I learned a lot from that time in my life. And that made me who I am today, even though I'm not the most, I'm not a saint, but I like who I am. And that really fucked me up. It's still in the back of my head, you know what I mean? Like, I still question, like, why that happened. I don't know why or how or, what thought process was going through her head when, she had to just up and leave, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to put the blame on her because, she was heavily influenced by meth. And she was just all over the place. She wasn't in the right state of mind to be making big decisions. So I'm not going to blame her or hold a grudge or anything, but I'm also not going to forget about it because it did happen. And it's made me, it's part of my past that's shaped who I am. So I'm not going to blame her or anybody at all. It happened and I learned from it. And I'm glad I'm in a position to where I could sit here and talk about it. And just share it with people, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was my life for a long time. After that happened, I found my brother and everything was okay. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a lot. I barely had any clothes and I barely got to eat, a couple times a week. But I had my little brother. And that's all that fucking mattered. You know what I mean? Because I was on a mission before I found him. To find him. My mission was to find my little brother. And I completed that fucking mission. As a 14-year-old child on his own in the streets of a poverty-stricken city. Trying to be an adult and be a good role model for his little brother. You know what I mean? So that was it for a while. And, like I said, I had several warrants for missing a lot of court dates for, petty shit. But I still had warrants. So one day I fucking woke up on the couch from a night of robo-frying. Like, yeah, big surprise there. I was robo-frying hard as fuck one night. Woke up the next morning on the couch in the living room, surrounded by police officers. Probably about 8 or 9 cops, with a few tasers and, batons and shit, ready to fuck me up. With a cop right in my face telling me to get up. And I got up, and at this point, everybody else was already awake. There was like 14 of us sleeping in the living room that morning. And the cops had me dead center of the room, in handcuffs, in front of everybody, patting me down, reading me my rights. And then they walked me to the cop car that was in the alley behind the house. And they put me in the cop car. The window is cracked about 4 inches. And they all leave. They leave me alone in the car and they go back in the house to talk to everybody else. And the homegirl Kayla and Dougie motherfucking Fresh, dude, they snuck out of the house and they came to the cop car with a loaded pipe, put it to my mouth, and we started smoking a bowl in the back of this cop car. I mean, I was the only one in the back of the cop car, but they posted up out there risking, their freedom so that I could get high and de-stress a little bit before I went into jail. Because we all knew I was going to be down for a while. I wasn't going to get out for quite a while. So I remember that moment thinking, God, I have the most amazing friends, because as we were driving away, everybody ran out of the house, stood behind the cop car, and they were like, "We miss you, Zach. We're gonna fucking miss you. We love you. They can't keep you down. Fuck the police." Like, they were chanting, "Fuck the police. Fuck the police." It was one of those moments in my life I will never forget. And I remember getting out, like, I was down for a long time. Like, I was down for like months. I think like 4 months I was locked up for. Not that long, but when you're 14 years old, it's a long time. So I did that time and I got out. And I remember, I just wanted to mention this because I thought it was amazing. I remember running into Kayla somewhere on the street. And she was like, it was like this crazy embrace. We were so amazed to see each other. And then she was like, "Dude, every day for the first 3 months I was locked up," she said, her, Dougie Fresh, her Doug, and Doug's baby mama all would walk to the bridge, because there was 2 main bridges in the town. And we would always walk across the one main bridge. And he said, or she said, while I was locked up, they would walk to the bridge every single night, light up a full cigarette, walk to the middle of the bridge, and then drop the full cigarette down and just watch the cherry fall all the way to the water. Because every time I crossed the bridge, that was like my tradition. I would light up a cigarette and then toss it over the edge so that I could watch it fall all the way down to the water. And she told me that they did that every single night for the first 3 months. And that is like some ritualistic fucking like amazing shit. I could not believe it. Like, that I had friends that cared about me that much. They thought about me every day I was gone. Find you some fucking friends like that. Those are the people I want in my life. No matter what, they have your back. So, if you ever feel like you had a shitty childhood or something, just tune into this podcast and remind yourself, it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't that fucking bad. The PB&J you had to bring for lunch every day wasn't that fucking bad. Or the khakis that your mom made you wear on the first day of school really wasn't that fucking bad, because I didn't even have a first day of school for like 6 years. So I don't want to hear shit. Yeah, I did finish high school. I did. I graduated. I have my high school diploma. I also have a college degree, believe it or not. But I did finish high school. I dropped out in the 8th grade, but when I was 17, I went back and took all the courses I need to through the mail. It was like an online / through the mail school. They would send me my homework, or they'd send me all the work that I need to do. I would do it, send it back. And I did that for a long time until I graduated. So I did get my diploma. I don't want you guys to think I'm a complete retard, because I'm retarded, but I'm not stupid. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys found some kind of entertainment from today's little story. It got a little depressing there at the end. But you're going to find that a lot of my stories are depressing. But that's just the reality of life. You know what I mean? There's a lot of depressing shit in the world. It's how you deal with it, man. I look back at all this shit that I talk about and I laugh. I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, I'd probably change it for a lot of money. What the fuck am I going to do with the world? You know what I mean? No. But I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? Because it's carved me out to be this fucking dipshit of a person that I am today. You know what I mean? So it's all good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try something a little different with this podcast with the way that I edit it today. So I hope it turns out okay. I hope the audio sounds good. I hope we didn't have any dropouts this week like I had last week. Lots of fucking dropouts and had a headache of a time trying to fix all that. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I'm really enjoying doing these podcasts. This is just the beginning. I got plans for a lot of shit to come. So, just stick with me, bear with me. This is just the beginning, like I said. I promise good shit is to come. But I think I'm going to end it here, guys. I'm going to start to wind down a little bit. Going to finish my coffee. Maybe go jerk off in the bathroom or something. You know what I mean? It's Miley Cyrus. I'm just kidding. Or am I? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys really know how lucky you have it if you wake up alive every day and you get to eat food and drink water every single day. You really have it a lot better than most people living outside of the United States. And I'm talking about people that don't have it good. Even people that are homeless in America have it better than a lot of other people in other countries. Like, I would rather be homeless, jobless, toothless, fucking hairless in America than even maybe have an apartment and not be, hairless in another country. Like, some people have it shit. So if you woke up this morning and you woke up in a bed in a warm home and you ate food for breakfast and you drank water and you fucking got to brush your teeth and take a shower and you get the privilege of getting to earn a monthly income by going to a job every day, you should be fucking thankful for that shit, because I am so thankful for what I have. Because when you have nothing, it is so easy to be thankful for the littlest things. And that's what it's really all about. You need to be thankful for all these little things you have in your life. You wake up and you're alive and you get to breathe. No matter what kind of mood or attitude you're in when you wake up, you are fucking alive. So you need to fucking embrace that shit. Never go to bed with any regrets or any anger. And you need to fucking do what makes you happy. That is my little tidbit of advice on my philosophy side. I'm a fucking philosopher now. If you didn't know, I'm fucking super woke. Just so you guys know, I'm a fucking Gandhi-like motherfucker. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna get off here. Remember to embrace the ones close to you. Tell them that you love them. Give them a hug. Send someone flowers while they're still alive. I do not want to get flowers after I'm dead. If you want to give me flowers, give them to me while I'm still alive, while I can enjoy them. Do that for somebody that you love. And until next time, this has been the motherfucking Hindsight Podcast with Zach Nasty, bitch. My real name is Zach Hines. No, not like the ketchup. I'll see you guys next time, you motherfuckers. I hope you have an amazing fucking day and you're loving life. Peace the fuck out.